Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with Channel Disturbance. This is the AMX 13F3AM, the Tier 6 French SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Mines and it's under the command of Elirox. Game started. Well, he's put a smiling face on the front of his vehicle. God knows how he managed to do that, but yes, he's managed to do it. He makes it look very comical. He's got 2 marks of excellence on the barrel, and that's the top gun. It's a 155mm howitzer mounted on top of an AMX 13-ton light tank hull. And it's quite a powerful Arty, but it also has quite a long reload time, 26.47 seconds, which at Tier 6 is quite long because the M44 can reload in 16 seconds. Elirox is letting it dial in before he shoots, and that way you get accuracy. From his current position, he can't hit that T-34-85 or the enemy ELC, but he can certainly hit that KV-1, and he fired at a BDR that he'd lost sight of. Now, the reason for moving to this central position is that you do avoid a lot of counter battery. There are 3 enemy Artys, an FB304, an M44 and a Gorilla. It's a Tier 6 game with Tier 5 tanks in it, and if he'd stayed in the right hand corner of the map, the southeast corner of the map, he probably would have been subjected to counter battery, but from here he can keep firing and the enemy will probably never work out where he is unless of course his teammates report it. Now that rock does actually present a bit of a problem at firing at enemies who are close, but he might be able to get a shot into that T-34-85 or the AMX ELC. I think the T-34-85 is a much better shot at the moment because he's out in the open. He switches the aim, fires it in and gets a lovely hit. 297 from near splash. Now he's having to change position again, I think really because he's finding it difficult to get shots from the current position, and he narrowly avoids the M41. He's also come over to this side of the battlefield because the M44 stayed in the southeast corner, and so he's just positioning himself so he can get shots on the enemy and still be able to operate. Well, you can see the ELC now and he's dialing in on his position, just lining it up, getting it ready. Rounds out. It lands short and unfortunately only splashes the ELC with stun. Over on the west side of the map on the island we've got a Cromwell, but he's in cover of land at the moment, so it's difficult for us to hit him. Trying to splash that ELC. Remember, his splash radius isn't that great. I'm afraid it's only 8 meters, which means that he'd need to get a fairly near miss to do substantial damage, and from that current position he can't. Now he's having a look at the Churchill 7, the centre point. He'd actually have to thread the shell directly through the gap between those rocks. It probably would go over them, actually, more than anything. He's just trying to find the correct solution, and he does fire over. Whether or not he actually did damage to the Churchill 7 we'll need to know later on, because unfortunately he was unsighted at the time the shell went in and it was a splash shell. He wasn't trying for a direct hit. He couldn't get a direct hit on him. There's a Valentine over this side of the map. Or it's a Wolverine rather than a Valentine, sorry. I thought for a Valentine that would be a Tier 4, so... Oh, direct hit on the Valiant. That hurts him. Okay, he's waiting for a sign of the enemy at the moment. Unfortunately, his teammates aren't spotting the enemy well enough, and as a consequence, he's finding it fairly difficult to get shots. That Valiant's gone, but there are more Valiants on the enemy team. Now, I think he's estimating the Wolverine is just around the corner from that house, hiding behind it. Normally I go to overhead mode to see exactly where the shot will fall, and yes, the Wolverine is there. And the Skoda just found him the hard way, but he killed the the Wolverine, and now we're going for the Valiant, who's trying to come around the corner at the Skoda. Rounds out. Direct hit, wipes him out. That's his first kill. Looks like Al Valiant just taking shells and... oh, he's gone down. Taken out by the enemy M44. So it may be that the enemy M44 is looking in this direction. So Elirox needs to be careful that he doesn't get taken out. If his trace is spotted by the enemy Arty, then he might try to counter battery. But we're looking towards the centre of the map, and we know there's a Churchill 7 and a KV-1 was seen in the vicinity, but they haven't been seen for a while. Skoda's moving up. He's the platoon mate in this battle. Victor 007. Will he spot? Oh, he spotted the KV-1. He's a one-shot. Splash kill. Rounds out. Yep, that's a kill. So 2 kills now for Elirox. And we've lost the Skoda. Platoon mate got taken out. Okay, Hellcat on the plateau above the enemy cap area. Now he pulls back because he sees the Churchill, but he knows where that Hellcat was last seen. Now he has to pull back because that VK3001 is actually fairly close, and if he was spotted by that guy, the M44 will be on him in a second. And there goes the VK. In a snap, that's the word I was trying to say, not a second. It'd be on him straight away. Okay, so there are still 5 enemy out there, 5 left on our team as well. The enemy have still got all 3 of their Arty, because of course we lost the M41. Still got our M44 firing from the southeast corner of the map. And Elirox at this moment is aiming at that corner, expecting the Cromwell to come around at any second. We're 1 down on the enemy now. And our bathtub, the S35CA, is coming down to that corner. And I think he's going to go after that Cromwell and take him out. He's got a 17-pounder or a 90mm, and he easily takes out the Cromwell. And that means Elirox wasn't seen. And he's moved position. And the enemy is now down to 4 players left. The bathtub's moving up to the next rock up. As far as we know, they've only got the Hellcat and the 3 Arty, whereas we've got the A43, the bathtub, and the M44. I think we've got the advantage, actually. There's the FV304. He's been spotted. He was actually in the lake, in the water on the west side, you could say. He's been hit. Oh, that's a kill! And the Gorilla goes down, which means now there's only 2 left on the enemy team. The Hellcat and their M44. And the M44 player appears to be a bit inexperienced. Now, one of the great things about the AMX 13F3 is that the AMX 13-ton tank is quite fast. It's very light as well, 13 tons in weight. And that means you can relocate quite quickly from one side of the battlefield to the other. In fact, you can move even faster with the stock gun than you can with the top gun. Because, of course, it's a much lighter weight. And that means you can accelerate faster, although the top speed is about the same. Now he's moving up gently because he doesn't know where the Hellcat is precisely. The Hellcat was last seen in the grounds of the castle, and the bathtub's moving up to take a look. Unfortunately, we lost our M44. He got taken out by the Hellcat. And from this position, it's a bit difficult to get shots on the castle, and he's just noticed that because... and he had to reverse back to try and get a shot. The Hellcat is, well, facing up against the bathtub now. The Hellcat took a hit. And the bathtub's gone down, but... oh my god, he got the shot in! And now it's Arty versus Arty. That was his 4th kill for Elirox. But the enemy M44, I said, was a bit inexperienced, but he's got 3 kills. and we don't know where he is, but he could be anywhere up ahead. Elirox is reloaded, ready to go, and he could easily shotgun the M44, no trouble at all. He's just got to work out where the guy is. He's coming up on Nigel's spot there, just in that corner. That's the spot that I discovered about 3 or 4 years ago now. It's a very OP position. In fact, Wargaming adjusted that position to stop people having so much of an advantage, and they also adjusted the height of the mountains next to the centre of the hill to stop people taking advantage of that position to fire in at the enemy as they're on the hill. His sixth sense hasn't gone off, so the M44 can't be around here. He's just going to have a quick look in the corner. No, no sign of him there. He probably would have seen him if he was. And rather than go into the bush in that position, he's actually going to take another position. The most likely place that the enemy Arty would fire would be to the bush, which is just over there. And I reckon if the enemy Arty's worth anything, he'll shoot at that bush just to check if there's anyone in the bush. So don't go into the bush. Stay outside it and outside the splash range. And if you can, try and use that camp. They've left behind the camp. You should always knock the camp down, but knock down the camp or stay behind it for cover. Now, if that M44 is worth anything, he'll fire at the bush, and we'll see an explosion in the corner of our screen. We're looking towards the hill at the moment, and it's very likely that the enemy M44 has gone up on the hill and our bathtub didn't discover him. He was probably trying to make towards the enemy cap, or our cap, and there was an explosion just there. So he has tried to reset the cap already, but he picked the wrong spot. 27 seconds to go. He's only going to get a couple more shots. So the question is, why is it taking him so long? 15 seconds. 10 seconds. He could do this. Unless the M44 gets a reset. And that's it. It's all over. He's won. He's capped out. And I don't think the enemy ever saw him during that game. And you know what that means? It's a Raider Invader! Yes, he got both! He wasn't spotted by the enemy. He got a first class tanker in that game, Elirox, in the AMX 13 F3 AM. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. But best of all, he got the Raider and the Invader combination. He got the Raider medal because he was not spotted, remained undetected by the enemy throughout the battle. And and also capped out to win. And the Invader medal because he got at least 80 cap points and won by capture. And that combination means the bat device and the Invader medal shows that you were extremely sneaky. The enemy never saw you and you won for the team. He also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In that game he got 14, so he was really laying on the damage on the enemy. His win rate for the battle was 3075, which is Super Unicum standard. So let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. Actually, it was the M44 in the corner, the guy who stayed in the southeast corner. He got a high caliber and a Confederate for 2,100 hit points of damage. The next highest scorer being the VK3001D on the enemy team with 1,800 hit points. And after that, it was the S35CA, the bathtub, 1,647 hit points of damage to him. Elirox managed 1,622, which is only a short distance behind that guy. But he did manage to get the highest number of kills alongside the bathtub. They got 4 kills each, 3 kills for the T150, the VK3001D and the M44 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it was the M44 who did the best with his high caliber, 957 base experience points to him. He also managed to get a fair amount of stun assists as well, 852 stun assists off 13 stuns. And then we've got the bathtub with 939 experience points, and 889 goes to the AMX 13F3 of Elirox. He fired 10 rounds in that game, got 5 direct hits but no penetrations, 10 splash. Damage of 1,622 hit points, of which 1,316 were at more than 300 meters. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 4, did 176 hit points of damage assistance, plus 308 hit points of stun assist of 6 stuns. He got 100 cap points by capping out, and earned 39,815 credits from the game, 20,000 for reward for completing a mission and events, and a total of 59,815 credits altogether. After ammunition resupply, took away 49,815 credits. He took away 1,333 XP from the game, from the battle, and 667 for completing the mission events, took away 2,000 in total. So a very good game there for Elirox, another Raider Invader combination. These are difficult to get. They're very rare that Arty will get them, but it does happen sometimes, and it's very satisfying when you do get them because it means you remain stealthy throughout the entire game and the enemy had no idea where you were, but then you did win for your team. And I've won a few Raider Invader combinations myself in the time, and I always thought it was a very sneaky way of winning the game. But it's also very satisfying because sometimes you get this medal and your team never expected that the Arty sitting at the back would be the guy that wins the game for their team. So yes, we do get accused of being campers sometimes, but Elirox was no camper. He actually did the necessary to actually win and take the win for his team, and it appears that the enemy M44 unfortunately just didn't try to stop him winning. In fact, actually Elirox actually thought that the enemy M44 did actually try to kill himself rather than actually win the battle and reset the cap, because he heard that there was some explosion up on the hill, but he didn't know where it was. And well, that random explosion on the hill could have been the M44 trying to get a reset, but it also might have been that the enemy M44 just did not know where Elirox was and was just firing randomly, and unfortunately missed the target. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel please, and thanks for watching.